Hi, I'd like to introduce you to the importance of minerals. Now, I know that sounds like a unimportant subject to many people other than taking supplements or eating food or something. And I must confess that I did not understand minerals. And I wanted to, in my youth, in my early 30s, so almost 40 years ago, I had a desire to really want to understand minerals in my body and minerals in the world around me, because apparently it's minerals that hold things together. They create the molecular attraction to create the physics of attraction through minerals and the biochemical attraction through minerals, the vibratory experience of minerals, and the body is composed of minerals. Even the DNA itself is composed by minerals, and the individual sequences where each rung of the ladder of the DNA has 10 turns to every part, and there is a phosphorus molecule holding each rung of the ladder together. So minerals. And what I did in my early 30s is I wanted to have an empirical experience of minerals. So we didn't have the internet back then. All we had was big, expensive books. So I went out and bought many of these books and literally cut the color pages out of the book, and I pasted them up all around my downstairs pot-bellied stove I had in the mountains. So all of the four walls were covered with pictures of minerals of all shapes, colors, and forms, and I would do my thing. I would pace and I'd work, and I'd want to develop a desire to feel and experience the minerals. I did this for weeks. And then one day I had an experience. It was not at all what I was expecting, but I felt all the minerals in my body, and each mineral became not just a little crystal, but became a single beam of light. But it was a constant and steady beam of light. And that particular mineral, which had a slightly different ion electron arrangement, was one beam of light, and it hit a different mineral and it bounced off of that one, and another and another and another. And what I had in my downstairs was a fiber optic light show of minerals, all reflecting off of each other in some form or another, depending on the angle of their presentation. They produced attraction or movement, and it was all a steady state of light. From then on, it changed my experience of what minerals are, how they work. Fast forward to 35 years later, and I'm now back to experiencing minerals again in a different way. And the reason for it is I want to learn how to use feeling and attention to be able to vitalize or become aware of or circulate the minerals through me. Now, it may not sound important to do, but for me, it relates to an appreciation or a gratitude for or an emotional desire to link with the mathematical perfection of nature. So all of nature is basically composed of these minerals. So the whole function of the realm of minerals, nature, producing the mineral kingdom and the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, because it's minerals that create the intrinsic composite of the earth, obviously, and then they're absorbed and delivered to the plant kingdom through water. To me, that corresponds to feeling, water and feeling, minerals, water, feeling, through the tree, xylem flowing up, down, and this is creating a circulation of minerals that become, when they're absorbed, utilized by a plant, they become something called a colloidal mineral. A colloidal mineral only means an earth-based mineral that has been digested by a plant, and then a leaf falls off a tree or a blade of grass dies. Now that becomes organic. Organic colloidal mineral now has a kind of coating around it that allows animals or insects or the plants, again, to utilize that new coated colloidal mineral in a higher form until eventually that colloidal mineral that was now deeply embedded in the earth for hundreds of millions of years now becomes the bud of a flower, a color corresponding to the mineral. So all flowers and their colors are a reflection of minerals. And then that flower, obviously, it produces, many of them produce a fragrance. Well, the fragrance is a mineral. So that mineral just went from deep in the earth up through the plant kingdom to the air. And now it's circulating around the earth as a mineral, and there are minerals, yes, in the air. There are minerals in the earth. So the appreciation of how these minerals work and how they mobilize theoretically gives us the opportunity to have a, if you will, a sympathetic relationship to a mineral. Now, that doesn't mean we're having an emotional relationship with something. We are. But for me, minerals are not, quote, alive. They have no consciousness. They have a frequency. They have a vibration. They have a function. But they're not alive. They may be, but it's not my experience so far. Minerals are vibratory in nature, but they're used to construct the plant kingdom, which, well, it's more alive than minerals are. And then there's the animal kingdom, which is obviously alive, all composed by minerals. So it's minerals that make plants. Every living thing that I know of on Earth lives off of plants. Even the animals that eat animals and the birds that eat animals and the fish that eat fish, they eat something that ate a plant first. Krill, plankton, and so on, algae and so on, they're all single-celled, and they're all assimilated by plant kingdom and or animal kingdom, and then all the animals have their frequencies of what they eat above the ground, below the ground, and so on. They all ingest and utilize minerals to create a biochemical reality. So the experience of being able to appreciate the experience of minerals is designed to have an increase of a sympathetic relationship. Now, there's a term in sympathetic which means like a tuning fork. If I hit a specific frequency of a tuning fork, all of the other tuning forks with that same tone will start to vibrate. That's a sympathetic relationship. So I'm suggesting it's possible to appreciate or recognize or feel all of the minerals of the periodic table of chemistry, of which there are 31 minerals in the periodic table of chemistry, and there's obviously, whose count you're at, 115 different elements. Some elements are minerals. The difference between an element and a mineral is typically elements cannot be broken down into a smaller part, which is true for 31 out of the roughly 6,000 different minerals. Now, scientifically, as far as I know, nearly every mineral on Earth is represented somewhere inside the physical body, and it's possible to have a tuning fork desire to want to feel. And you might ask why. Well, it is an appreciation of the intelligent design of life, nature, body, as a reflection of appreciating the creator itself. If you want to go there, you can. Or I'm experimenting with how to circulate more feeling through the mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and circulating that through the human body. I think it is a valuable thing to do to fall in love with great gratitude, the mineral kingdom and its composite, in the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom, and just grow an intrinsic sympathetic relationship to it, to appreciate inside, outside, and I like that. So I'm going to show you just a couple of more of these experiences. Let me just choose a different background for you and show you that the one I like here is, this now has all three of the different kingdoms. It has mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom, and yes, the pink, powder blue, and white on the outside. Yes, that's there for a reason, because the mineral kingdom feeding the plant kingdom, feeding the animal kingdom, is actually all fed by the pink, powder blue, and white. Now, to me, that is emotionally the container called me, or the soul, or whatever you want to call it for wherever you are. This is mineral kingdom, plant kingdom, animal kingdom. Inside me, there are correspondences that correspond to all of them. Glands, organs, body systems, they all have different frequencies. They all correspond to different feelings. So just the practice of appreciating this remarkable experience that we have by appreciating a bit more the element of the mineral kingdom. The other reason why, to me, that is so important is that, I'll choose another background for you for a moment here, is I like this one. And this is an old friend. This, by the way, happens to be a close-up actual photograph of a single vertebrae in the spine. And it is basically alive. It's defined as alive because bones are alive, by the way. They breathe, they eat, they grow, they live, they die. So call it whatever you want. For me, that's a definition of life. It breathes, it eats, it grows, it remembers, and yes, it dies. You might see, if you can, the black spots in one area. To me, those are ancestral memories lodged in the crystals of time. So I won't go into all the details about it right now, but I have wanted to really feel my own bones and what's stored there. So I used to take this one spot here and put my attention inside of it. Yes, it's true. I've done some odd and crazy things and had some remarkable results, and I'm just sharing one that I used to do. I used to put my attention into that one white spot of the bone and then churn going into the right and counterclockwise, and then come in and desire to feel it with my skin. Yes, I know that's a bit odd. I used to put on different forms of either beautiful sacred music or just good rock and roll music, and I would get down there, hold perfectly still, and dance. Reason for it? Vitalize with attention and feeling and passion the long term memories held within my own crystals of my phone. And the goal was to begin to remove the crystallized, if you will, unloving memories of my ancestors. So, yes, I did some 20 years of a form of breathing called a Kriya breathing, designed to take the breath through the spine and go up in cold and down in hot. And yes, I did a lot of that. Now, recently, I've gone to another different kind of enjoyment with it. And let me just show you this other picture. And it has to do with something that looks like this. Now, why this is important, to me, these are the frequencies of resonance of minerals. It's well known in science and spectrographs that you can take substances and basically burn them and they produce a color. And then from the identification of the color spectrum in the spectrograph treatment, they know the composite components of whatever the frequencies of the molecules are that create that particular compound. So these are frequencies, if you will. They're frequencies not only of color, they also are frequencies of sound. So how frequencies of color are related to frequencies of sound. And for me, the physical body has a frequency to it in its composition. And then its spirit body or mind also has its own frequency or composite. So the spirit body has its own, if you will, vibration. Physical body has a different kind of vibration, where sound and light are basically interwoven to produce my physical existence. And I'm interested in how to cooperate with this. Now, what was an extraordinary experience for me, and it's a small epiphany, but I wanted to share it with you. I'm a slow learner. It took me 35 years to get to this. But all the minerals are actually starlight. I know that sounds strange. You know, we're stardust, we're golden, whatever that old song was from the hippie world. We're stardust. Well, the reality is all the matter was created by an exploding star. I mean, even the Big Bang it's a composite where the light and the energy is spread across the universe and it forms into stars and planets and so on. And then our sun is this, and it has a yellow sun, and it has a frequency of a particular form. And all of the matter of the earth was originally light. So my original experience some 35 years ago, that the individual minerals were light, well, that was true. The experience now for me is just to remember that, all of the minerals of the mineral kingdom are composed of light in different frequencies. So the heavier ones have one place, the plutonium all the way up to the helium, and all the layers in between that go, the gaseous versus matter, and so on and so on. And I really like the nature of water because it's one of the, substances that can be a crystal, it can be a solid, is crystalline in nature, the composite of H, 2, and O. It can be orderly, it can be a solid in ice, It obviously can be a liquid and it can be a gas. So it actually encompasses three different primary levels. And with the utilization of water, feeling, minerals, light, I'm enjoying doing xylem up and phloem down. And this is what I'm offering to people to experiment with, because the integration with nature has scientific evidence, bodies of knowledge, not just woo-woo stuff, but there's bodies of knowledge how being close to physical nature has an effect on the brain, nervous system, and body. So people know it. A walk outside in nature feels good. I'm suggesting that a deeper appreciation of it as light and feeling, vibration, and something I can participate in is capable of being able to circulate, by my desire to do so, an appreciation of something that would otherwise be available to me, but not something I can feel. So I'm suggesting that the appreciation of these frequencies is an opportunity to feel. Later on, you'll find that this is the birth order sequence as well. Yes, all irises fit into one of these spectrums. Some people are Mercury and some people are lead. Sorry, don't mean to be unkind about lead or plutonium, but some people are gold and some people are silver and some, well, we have all the character types, personality types, all the birth orders, and if you want all the chakra systems all aligned, and it's possible for them to circulate at a higher degree of feeling. But the only way to really get there is to appreciate, feel, and desire to want to feel that circulation. Of course, you know me, I'm going to link all of that into cycles and seasons of the day, the seasons of the year. So you want to feel there for a little bit and there for a little bit and go around feeling like, well, yeah, okay. I would suggest that you at least experiment with the possibility, or just look around, or when you're eating your next piece of cherry pie or chicken at least, or whatever, you recognize that it's a composite of minerals from either the mineral kingdom, the plant kingdom, or the animal kingdom, and then eventually we recognize each one has a different effect. So, minerals, light, water, feeling, well, it is what you want it to be most of the time, and you have the opportunity to do that. So I just wanted to share with you a little of my experiences from the past. And then one day I want to share with you more thoroughly how to go into your own bones should you want to try some of the more unusual but dynamically capable things. Yes, it's a sequence of experiences that I'm inviting you to experiment with. So that's enough for now. Enjoy your next bowl of minerals. Enjoy your next inhalation of hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, and oxygen. Enjoy all those different frequencies and really, go ahead. Have a good life. Talk to you later.